Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Clearly Ambiguous. First of all, I'd like to apologize about the sound quality in my previous video. That was something that came up during editing, and sorry for not checking it. Um, I hope the sound quality on this video is better, and thank you for all the views and the likes on the earlier video. Today, what are we talking about? Well, today we are talking about some actions that President Trump has taken with regards to NATO. Now, before we do that, let's talk about certain other things he has done. And while it seems like he's making a pig's breakfast of everything, let's try to make a little sense out of it all. Now, in recent times, you might have heard the news that he has left or taken United States of America out of 66 organizations, which is like, I had the number up here. Let's get it up on the screen now. President Trump has directed United States to withdraw from 66 international organizations and UN entities. Out of this, there are 31 United Nations organizations, and the rest of them are other 35 non-United Nations organizations. Now, the key couple of big organizations that United States would not be part of now is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCCC, and Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that is IPCC. Now, what it basically signals is that whatever President Trump thinks that US is losing by being part of these organizations, and could be in cash, could be in kind, he does not want that, right? Because he does not want to participate in any organization which can basically hold back what his plans for United States are. So environmental organizations obviously put some obligations on how countries need to act, and, well, he wants to act differently. Now, why did I mention this coming to the point that I wanted to make about NATO, that is North Atlantic Treaty Organization? Now, this organization essentially was created post Second World War, where there was a growing influence of Soviet Union, and obviously to tackle this after the threat of the Nazi Germany was over, the biggest threat that the Western world thought was the invasion of socialism towards, or push of socialism towards the West, and they had to make sure that they did not get affected. Now, if anybody knows about United States loves to sell subscriptions. If you buy any of their software services, it's a subscription. They like to sell subscriptions. So basically, in very, very simplified terms, NATO was basically a subscription of security guarantees, right? So what the United States was doing was that it went to Western countries and told them that, listen, we would guarantee you security, but you need to be a part of such and such organization, and this would put your mind at ease as well, because if there is an attack on one of the allies, it would be taken as an attack on everyone, and we could basically make sure that the threat of Soviet Russia did not come past a particular point, right? So because that's what the Western Europe has basically been concerned about even since the Crimean War, that Russia is coming and Russia needs to be stopped. And everybody in Europe basically thinks Russia is the biggest threat there is. So what do? So you can choose either to be part of the Soviet bloc, or you create your own bloc and, yes, be a part of that. So hence the creation of NATO. Now, what President Trump today feels, and there have been certain talks in the past as well, that all NATO members do not pull the same amount of weight when it comes to committing to the security of the realm that is the Western world, right? Western democratic world, right? So, especially the European part of it. So that's the reason why United States feels a little dejected in the fact that they probably commit far more to the security of Europe than Europe contributes to its own security. Hence, he had mentioned that European countries, member nations of NATO, have to spend more. That is almost about 5% of their GDP, right? Now, once he had increased, because obviously it's a subscription that has been sold by United States of America, so obviously they can change the terms and conditions of the said subscription. Like it's as good as buying an Amazon Prime subscription, right? Initially, if you bought an Amazon Prime subscription, everything was inclusive, and now parts of those subscription basically need more subscriptions so that you can access some parts which are now different parts in the same subscription. So yeah. So now United States says you need to spend a little more. Then comes the Ukrainian war, right? Which President Trump had said that he would stop in 24 hours, and I wonder why he has not stopped that, while he claims that he has stopped 8 1/4 of a war. I don't know what 1/4 of a war means, but I'm sure President Trump, in his own wisdom, will be able to explain it to everyone, because we do not understand the level of understanding he has, right? So, wow, what did I minimize just there? Oops. Yeah. So, yes, the terms and conditions of the subscription have changed a little bit. Now, President Trump thought that it was wrong of the Biden administration to help Ukraine by giving them money directly, right? Fund the Ukrainian war effort against Russia. What President Trump essentially at that point of time ended up saying that Americans could provide weapons, arsenal, or whatever Ukraine needed for its war effort, but then again it needed to be paid for by the Europeans, who eventually could basically do deals with Ukraine post-war and try and get whatever they'd spent on securing that said safety of Ukraine, they would basically extract it out of Ukraine. So another way of ensuring that, see, United States does not lose on, spending on a war, which, because that's what American people do not want. They don't want their money to go to wars which are probably not even concerning them. So yeah, so that was probably becoming difficult for the American government to justify their expenditure on wars abroad while their own economy was in decline, and still is. But then again, President Trump says that all the numbers are good and it's the best economy and everybody should be coming there, and every other economy is dead and what not. So then he realizes that, he could probably go a little bit further, because he suddenly realized that it was unfair that after the Americans had secured Greenland, right, in Second World War, Denmark was not protecting it enough, and now the Chinese or the Russians might be coming for United States because the Arctic ice is melting, and there are Chinese warships and Russian warships which are there, but it's only President Trump who's seeing those warships. Independent intelligence everywhere else is reporting to the contrary, that there are no excuse me for that, Chinese or Russian warships right now in the North Sea. But then again, if President Trump says they are there, they are there. We have to listen to him. So then, because it is happening, and Greenland is part of the American continent and North American continent, so it essentially can be a part of United States of America, because That is his reasoning behind Canada being another state of United States of America. And that is the reason why he says that probably one day he will go after Mexico as well. Because it is vital for the security. So if United States says it's vital for its security to acquire certain sovereign territory of certain other country, they should just give it to them. And how is it different from the imperialistic British? Is it anywhere different from British imperialism? Well, it is not, and it has never been. Americans have been as imperialistic as any other imperialistic power before them. It's just that they do it under the garb of establishing Western values, democracy, freedom, so on and so forth. So for Americans, even a country which is being ruled by a dictator is okay till the time it basically does whatever the United States of America commands it to do. Hence the reason why United States of America has never tried to push democracy in the Middle East, where most of the Middle Eastern regimes have essentially been whatever, we would not call them dictatorships because some of them might not like it. But then again, yes, right? So why no Western democracy being pushed in certain places while certain other places they have to be there, right? So that is something that United States does not explain, and they don't need to explain because President Trump does not feel like that they should explain, because he usually does not explain his things. He just says it, and you have to believe it because it is the truth according to him, because everything that he says is the truth. And he says it on Truth Social, by the way. He does not say on any other social media platform, but it says it on Truth Social, and hence it is the truth. Wow. So yes, so why do you think that President Trump is now undermining NATO? Reason for that would be that now he thinks that NATO is pretty much redundant, right? And it has made essentially most of the Western European countries a little lazy about spending on their defense, right? And Americans are in a place right now that they can flex, because what is the choice that the European nations have? If they break up NATO, who's going to protect them against Russia? And if they break up NATO and now make an enemy out of United States of America, who's going to protect them from United States of America? While United States of America can just basically slice pieces of Europe that it feels necessary for its own national security. I think one of these days there will be some rare earth elements that will be found in Scotland, because President Trump also has a lineage from Scotland. Scotland would be essential for national security of the United States of America, and hence probably Great Britain should or United Kingdom should basically hand over Scotland to President Trump, because he needs it, right? He needs it for national security of United States of America. I mean it sarcastically, and I hope that never happens. But then again, no one knows, right? Because if he says it on Truth Social, then probably that might be the truth. And the reason why the US is undermining the same organizations that it was selling as the organizations of Western values to the people, United States just feels that they do not want to share certain amount of the burden, right? People should probably pull their own weight. And this could teach world a couple of things. One, that there are no permanent friends or enemies in diplomacy. And secondly, that please do not become so dependent on somebody else that one fine day you just lose all leverage of negotiation with an ally, because that ally is now too big and is the boss of you now rather than being an ally. So let's hope the hyper-caffeinated, I forget his name. His name is Mark Rutte. it's got a double T in there, something, right? The hyper caffeinated, overexcited person who is the boss of NATO right now, who thinks Trump is Big Daddy, and yeah. I wanted to use a sound effect there, which would have been very corny. But then again, yes, he thinks that Donald Trump is the daddy of them all. And probably now he feels that even the NATO allies or the other members of NATO should start referring to as President Trump as daddy instead of President Trump. Well, let's hope that it never comes. But then again, that is what is happening right now. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Please do mention your comments on what do you think President Trump is going to do next. And please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel and help our small channel grow as well. In the end, all I can say is thanks for watching. Keep watching. Until next time, good night. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.